Let me tell y'all something real quick. Ain't nobody gonna love you like you hear me? Nobody. Not your mama, not your best friend, not your partner. And it ain't because they don't love you. It's because they can't love you the way you should love yourself. Ain't nobody gonna love you like you can. That's the truth, plain and simple. You can spend your whole life searching for someone to make you feel whole, someone to lift you up, someone to fill that space inside you. But at the end of the day, the only person who can truly do that is you. You see, a lot of folks walk around thinking love is something that comes from the outside. They think if they just find the right person, the right relationship, the right friend, or even the right job, they'll finally feel complete. But let me tell you something. If you don't already feel complete within yourself, nothing and nobody is ever gonna make you feel that way. People will love you, sure, they'll care about you. But even the people who love you the most can't love you in a way that replaces the love you need to have for yourself. You ever see folks who jump from relationship to relationship, always looking for somebody to make them feel wanted? That's because they don't know how to love themselves first. They depend on other people to do it for them. And when that person leaves, they fall apart. They feel lost. They don't know who they are without somebody else telling them they're special. That's dangerous. You can't put your happiness, your worth, your value in somebody else's hands. Because people are people. They can change, they can disappoint, they can walk away. And if your love for yourself is based on someone else's opinion, what happens when that opinion changes? You got to understand that your worth ain't up for debate. It ain't tied to whether somebody calls you, whether they choose you, whether they stay. It's locked in, it's set in stone. You were born valuable. You were born enough. And the only person who needs to recognize that every single day is you. A lot of times, people don't love themselves because they're too busy focusing on what they think they lack. They sit around counting their flaws, comparing themselves to other folks, looking at what they don't have instead of appreciating what they do. That's a losing game. You'll never win that, because no matter who you are, how successful you get, how much you achieve, if you don't love yourself, you'll always feel like it's not enough. You see it all the time. People who have money, fame, status, but still feel empty. That's because love starts from the inside. It don't matter how much you got if you don't got love for yourself. And that love ain't just about confidence. It's about respect. It's about knowing your boundaries. It's about treating yourself like somebody who matters, somebody worth taking care of, somebody worth standing up for. Because let me tell you, the way you treat yourself teaches the world how to treat you. If you're always putting yourself last, always shrinking to make other people comfortable, always doubting yourself, the world is going to do the same. But if you walk with confidence, if you hold your head up, if you know deep down that you are worthy, the world will have no choice but to recognize it too. You got to set that standard. Loving yourself means taking responsibility for your own happiness. It means not waiting for somebody else to show up and save you, not waiting for approval, not waiting for the world to clap for you before you believe in yourself. You got to be your own biggest fan, your own cheerleader, your own support system. Because at the end of the day, when you lay your head down at night, it's just you and your thoughts. And if you don't love yourself, if you don't think you're enough, then nothing else is going to fill that space for you. Some of y'all are walking around with a love deficit. You're giving love away to everybody else, your family, your friends, your job, but you ain't saving any for yourself. You pour and pour until you're empty, then wonder why you feel drained, why you feel unappreciated, why you feel like something's missing. What's missing is you. You've been so busy making sure everybody else is good that you forgot to make sure you're good. You got to start prioritizing yourself. You got to stop looking for somebody else to tell you you're good enough and start believing it on your own. You got to start treating yourself the way you want others to treat you. Because if you don't, you'll spend your whole life settling for less than you deserve. Too many people are out here waiting for somebody else to tell them they're enough. They need to hear it from their friends, their family, their boss, social media, or whoever they think holds the power to validate them. But let me tell you something. If you don't believe it first, it don't matter who says it. If you're walking around waiting on the world to approve of you, you're gonna be waiting forever. People spend too much time chasing compliments, likes, and attention like it's gonna fill them up. But no amount of outside validation can make up for what you don't believe about yourself. You ever see somebody who's got everything, looks, money, success, but they still insecure? That's because no matter how much the world tells you you're great, if you don't feel it inside, you won't believe it. It'll never be enough. The problem is too many folks tie their self-worth to what other people think. They let other people's opinions decide how they feel about themselves. If somebody praises them, they feel good. If somebody criticizes them, they feel worthless. That's dangerous because people change. One day they love you, the next day they don't. One moment they're cheering for you, the next moment they're questioning you. If your confidence is built on the shaky foundation of what others think, you're gonna be knocked down every time the wind blows. You gotta stop waiting for permission to feel good about yourself. You gotta stop needing someone else to tell you that you matter. Because let me tell you something, not everybody is gonna see your worth. Not everybody is gonna appreciate you, and that's okay. It ain't their job to. It's your job to know who you are. It's your job to believe in yourself, even when nobody else does. Too many people hold themselves back because they're scared of what others might think. They don't chase their dreams because they're afraid of judgment. They don't speak up because they're afraid of rejection. They don't live fully because they're worried about what somebody else might say. But let me ask you this. Who are you living for? Who do you wake up with every morning? Who do you go to sleep with every night? It's you, not them. You. So why are you letting people who don't live your life control how you feel about yourself? When you put your worth in the hands of others, you give them the power to break you. You give them the power to dictate your happiness. And once you do that, you're no longer in control. That's why some people feel stuck. That's why they feel lost. They're waiting on approval that may never come. They're looking for love in places that can't give it to them. The truth is, most people are too busy worrying about themselves to think about you as much as you think they do. You're out here holding back because you're afraid of being judged. But half the time, people ain't even paying attention. And even if they are, so what? Their opinion don't change your value. You ever notice how confident people move through the world? It's not because they never get criticized. It's because they don't let that criticism define them. They don't let other people's opinions shake what they already know to be true about themselves. They walk into a room like they belong there. They speak like their words matter. They don't need anybody to tell them they're enough because they've already decided that for themselves. That's the difference between people who live freely and people who stay stuck. One group understands that their worth isn't up for debate. The other group is waiting on somebody else to tell them they're good enough. And guess what? If you give people the power to decide your worth, some of them will take advantage of it. Some will withhold love just to control you. Some will keep you doubting yourself so they can keep you small. But the moment you stop looking for outside validation, the moment you realize you don't need anybody else to approve of you, that's the moment you become unstoppable. That's the moment you start walking different, talking different, living different. Because when you validate yourself, nobody can take that away from you. Loving yourself is not selfish, it's necessary. A lot of people go through life feeling guilty for putting themselves first. Like taking care of their own needs somehow makes them a bad person. But the truth is, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. If you don't love yourself, you'll constantly look for other people to do it for you, and that's a setup for disappointment. People will tell you to be selfless, to give and give, to always put others first. And while giving is a beautiful thing, It should never come at the cost of your own well-being. Too many folks drain themselves trying to be everything for everyone, thinking that sacrificing themselves is the definition of love. But what happens when you give so much that there's nothing left? What happens when you're so busy taking care of everybody else that you forget to take care of yourself? Loving yourself means understanding that you are just as important as the people you care about. It means setting boundaries and knowing when to say no. It means choosing yourself even when it's hard. Because if you don't choose you, you can't expect anybody else to. People take their cues from you. If you treat yourself like you don't matter, others will do the same. If you respect yourself, others will follow suit. Some folks think loving yourself means being arrogant or selfish, but that's not it at all. There's a big difference between confidence and arrogance. Confidence says, I know I matter. Arrogance says, only I matter. And loving yourself the right way means knowing your worth without putting anybody else down. It means standing tall without stepping on anybody else's toes. It means knowing you deserve happiness, peace, and success without feeling guilty for it. Loving yourself is about knowing your limits. It's about understanding that you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't be your best self for others if you're running on fumes. You can't show up fully in your relationships if you're constantly neglecting yourself. Some people think they're doing the right thing by always putting others first, but in reality, they're slowly losing themselves in the process. They wake up one day exhausted, unfulfilled, wondering where all their energy went. It's about knowing when to give and when to hold back. Everybody else. It's about knowing when to say yes, nothing, and when to say no for themselves. It's about realizing that you don't have to apologize for taking up space, for having needs, for prioritizing your own happiness. Because at the end of the day, if you don't take care of yourself, nobody else will. People will take from you as long as you let them. Not always because they mean harm, but because human nature is to take what's given. If you don't set boundaries, people will assume you don't have any. If you don't show yourself respect, people will assume you don't need it. That's why self-love is so important. It teaches people how to treat you. It sets the standard for the kind of love and respect you expect in return. When you love yourself, you stop settling. You stop putting up with things that drain you. You stop allowing people to walk all over you because you know you deserve better. You move differently, you speak differently, you carry yourself differently. You become a person who commands respect without even asking for it. Because when you truly love yourself, it shows. It's in the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you handle yourself in any situation. Some people won't understand your self-love journey. They'll call you selfish. They'll say you've changed. They'll make you feel like you're doing something wrong. But that's only because they were benefiting from you not having boundaries. They were used to the version of you that always said yes, always gave too much, always put yourself last. When you start choosing yourself, some people won't like it, but the ones who truly love you will respect it. Loving yourself isn't selfish, it's survival. It's knowing that you are responsible for your own happiness. It's understanding that you can't be everything for everyone, and that's